Hello, and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, known as the Dream Decipherer, and this is Dream Your Life, Live Your Dream Live, where we talk about all things dreams. Now, I have to say, you have to forgive the camera bouncing a bit. It's a bit breezy out here by the pool, and it's just too nice to stay inside. So forgive me if the camera bounces a little bit. Now, today's episode, with regard to dreaming about exes rather, is about your ex begging you to come back. Now, before I get into that, I have to explain that dreams come from us and are about us, and that the people who appear in our dreams are not necessarily themselves, but are representing some aspect of ourselves. And you also have to remember that dreams act in present information and metaphors as if. So it's, last week I talked about your ex having died. It doesn't literally mean that your ex has died, but it represents the death perhaps of the relationship. But ultimately, even my gift of understanding the symbols in dreams is subject to the dreamer. It's the dreamer who actually interprets the dream in the context of their life and what it means for them, which is why dream books are largely. Oh, well, I'm so glad that this is the first time you're joining me. Welcome. I hope it's the first time of many times that you visit with me. Um, but as I was saying, that the dreamer is the person who is ultimately interprets the dream because it's from them and it's about them. Now, uh, dream books, which a lot of people like to resort to, are um, not necessarily helpful. And the reason why is because they're just too general. A dream book is not going to take into account that you perhaps haven't been speaking to your partner or spouse for the last 3 days. Your teenagers are driving you mad, and your boss or your clients are making impossible demands. The dream books are just too general. So you have to learn how to understand the language of your dreams and the symbols that are particular to you and your circumstances to be able to crack the code of your dreams. And yes, dreams are extremely powerful. The ancient civilizations have been took great stock in dreams, and in fact, empires have literally been won and lost because of dreams. From the Babylonians to the ancient Greeks and Romans, all kinds of people that were the Oracle of Delphi, for example, in Greece, was well known for making predictions or interpreting people's dreams. So yes, dreams are very powerful, and as I say, they have important information that can help guide us in making better decisions about our lives, whether we're talking about personal decisions or professional ones. Now, having said all of that, today I'm going to be looking at a dream about an ex that is begging you to come back in the dream. Now, what could that possibly mean? It's in the context of the person's life, the dreamer's life, but there are several possibilities to consider. One is perhaps you're actually missing the person. You're missing your ex, and if one thing to consider about that is that did they break up with you, and therefore this dream is kind of a bit of a revenge dream, where you want them to suffer a little bit like they made you suffer when they broke up with you. Um, that's a possibility. It could mean that you truly are missing that person. But you have to ask yourself, in the context of your life, what is actually happening in your life? Is your social life become more restricted because you're no longer with this person? Perhaps you need to simply get out more and meet new people, do something different to be able to improve your life, your social life. Do Perhaps you just miss being in a relationship, not necessarily with your ex, but with someone or some ones, in terms of a more general social life, and having people around you rather than being stuck with your own company, as it were. So there's various ways you can look at why you're dreaming about your ex coming, begging you to come back. It could simply mean that you're lonely and or need companionship, whether that be intimate relationships or more general relationships. But it's a signal to you to kind of look at your life in context and do a little bit of sleuth work. What's going on in your life? What do you need to do to shift things in your life? It could be, like I said, being more sociable, meeting new people, and getting out of your normal routine, and perhaps finding a new partner, maybe not, but at least making the possibility more real by getting out and not keeping to yourself. So what dreams are perturbing you these days? Is it something about an ex? Is it something about work? I mean, I've had dreams about work, and to me, that was just an indication I needed a vacation. But again, it's all depends on what is going on in your life, and it forces us to be a bit more introspective and to look at our lives and not just one aspect, but in its totality. As I said, have you had a fight with your partner? Is things have gone down the tubes at work? Did your pet die? All of those things can have an impact on our dreams and what are the subjects of our dreams. And again, what is provoking this dream about an ex who's begging you to come back? Do you really want them to come back, or is it just an indication that you miss having the closeness and intimacy with someone? You have to dig beyond the surface and look beyond the symbols and really get with yourself, which can be difficult at times, admittedly. We're not always given to introspection and really getting a handle on what's going on with us. So that's a challenge. And the challenge is, are you up to the challenge of looking at yourself and looking at your life honestly and making some decisions based on that? Now, just to give you an example, I mean, the work that I'm doing here is the result not only because of the gift I was born with, but because my dreams have actually led me to make the decision to do this. And it's something that I love, and when I don't do it, I feel the difference. And that's what dreams are about. Dreams are psychologically are to keep us on an even keel. So to give you an example, a rather funny example of how dreams act as a counterbalance in our lives. There used to be years ago, and I'm showing my age here, but there used to be a show called Saturday Night Live, and there was a character called the church lady who was always pointing her fingers at the loose morals of everyone around. They were to this, to that, to the other. They had no morals. They were like alley cats, blah, 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 blah. But what people didn't know is that this church lady, when she would go to sleep, she was having orgies. So, so this is what I mean about the counterbalance. That our dreams are means of keeping us on an even keel emotionally, and the more outrageous or out of whack our dreams are, the more outrageous our dreams become as a counterweight. And hopefully that will be a signal for us to kind of look at our behavior and shift So to come back into a middle road rather than being out of whack and outrageous. So there you have it. This is my take or my suggestions on how dreaming about your ex begging you to come back into their life what could possibly mean for you. But in the end, as I say, who interprets a dream and makes sense of it is the dreamer themselves. And you'll know when you've hit upon the right interpretation because it kind of clicks in your head and it's like, oh, okay, that's what that means. So you have to, sometimes the meaning is quite clear and comes to you right away. Other times it's a bit more obscure and you have to sit with the dream, and your unconscious will keep working on it while you're busy doing other things. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Sorry for the camera bouncing in the breeze. And the next time I will have yet another episode of A Dream of an Ex and what it could possibly mean. Hope to see you then. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.